Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Peter Code. We are going now to cut to a live video stream to the east side of the venue where the procession will take place. Please direct your attention to the video screen. There will be a period of about 10 minutes while all of our police dog handlers have their canine partners placed into their vehicles, and then they'll come and join us here in the venue. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Before the service commences, I would like to just remind everyone to be aware of the exits within the facility, which are clearly marked in the event that they need to be utilized in an emergency. Following the ceremony, there will be a reception, which will take place in the hall to the west, and all are invited and welcome to join us. During the ceremony, all uniform members are reminded to be able to remove their headdress, including during the playing of our national anthem, where we will honor our national anthem and our nation by standing at attention. The Chief of Police, Chief Myron Demke, will be our sole representative that will make the salute to our country, our anthem, and to our flag. If you are able, I would ask that you please rise for the entrance of Sergeant Brandon and his wife, Heather. Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to everyone. My name is Peter Code, and I cannot begin to tell you how humbled I am to be the one before you this morning to direct a very unique, but a very, very required ceremony of life and remembrance. This ceremony highlights that all of us have only a very brief time here to represent ourselves the way that we wish to be represented, to treat others with the respect and dignity that all those that are living deserve. And it highlights that how we share this brief time that we have, not just with other people, but also with other living beings, including those from the animal kingdom, who, like us, also experience love, joy, and loss. Perhaps like none other, the many nations that have come before us have honored all living creatures with a sense of dignity and reverence usually reserved for humankind. I encourage all of us today and on the days that follow to acknowledge that the land that we live and share life is the traditional territory of these many nations that I speak of, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse nations, Inuit, and Métis people. I would like to welcome Sergeant Brandon Smith, his wife Heather, and his daughter Madison, his extended family and friends. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing us to share this day with you. We are honored by the presence and welcome Her Worship Mayor Olivia Chow. Welcome to our command officers, to our Toronto Police Service board members, to our Toronto Police members at all ranks, in all positions, and to the representatives of all emergency services from across the province that have gathered here today. Welcome to our members from our police associations, and in particular to the members of our Toronto Police Association. Our appreciation for you and your unwavering commitment and dedication to the care of our members' well-being knows no limits, and we thank you for that. Welcome to the people of our communities that we have sworn to protect and that have taken the time to watch this ceremony that is made available through a video live link. On behalf of the Smith family, I welcome all of you to today's service. And included in this welcome is a distinct salute to hundreds of police dog handlers that have journeyed to this destination to pay their respects. Their presence alone provides a silent narrative of the pride that they have for their unique policing roles in keeping communities safe, of the dangers that they face each and every day, and the respect that they have for all others that do the same job. In all, there are over 75 K-9 teams here joining us this morning from police and private agencies from all across our province. On behalf of our Toronto Police Service and our police dog services, I welcome all of you here today. Finally, I'd like to bring a special welcome to Constable Dan Skillings of the Woodstock Police Service, who lost his partner and his best friend, Taz, in the line of duty on July 3rd this year. Constable Skillings, I offer you our sincere condolences. Thank you for your support to us for for being here today. There are several people that would like to pay tribute. Let me start by introducing our Mayor of Toronto, Her Worship, Olivia Chow, to the podium.
Thank you. On behalf of the people of Toronto, I want to extend my deepest condolence to you, Sergeant Brendan Smith, and the entire Toronto Police Service for the loss you have suffered. The bond between a police dog and handler is truly a special one. Many of us know the deep connection we feel with the animals in our lives. The loyalty, the security, the love, unconditional love we feel when we come home after a long day. And there they are waiting at the door to welcome us. Now imagine that the animal is your partner, facing danger together, serving together, being with your family together. You live together and share a commitment to keep people safe day in and day out. That's a connection few of us will ever know. A connection with Bingo that I know Sergeant Smith and his family deeply cherished. And a deep loss we honor by our presence here today. To serve one city, to serve each other, is all our highest calling. So while today we mourn Bingo's death in the line of duty, may we honor the commitment to service that his sacrifice represents. Thank you all for your service to our city.
Thank you, Your Worship. I would like to invite the Vice Chair of the Toronto Police Services Board, Vice Chair Lisa Kostakis, to the podium to say a few words.
Thank you, Staff Super Code. Mayor Chow, Chief Demkew, members of the Toronto Police Association, Deputy Chief Wyanzek, Toronto Paramedic Services, members of the Toronto Police Service, and of course, Sergeant Brandon Smith and your family, Bingo's beloved partner, and Sergeant Smith's family and friends. On behalf of the Toronto Police Services Board, I'm honored to be here today as we gather to celebrate the life and service of Bingo, a true hero, a hero with 4 legs, a wagging tail, and an unwavering dedication to duty. We come together to remember and honor a faithful partner who gave his all, a police dog who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Bingo, a brave canine whose courage and loyalty knew no bounds, exemplifies the very essence of service and sacrifice, a faithful protector who worked tirelessly alongside his human counterparts to keep our community safe. Bingo's commitment never wavered. He tracked down suspects and stood fearlessly in the face of danger, embodying the true spirit of bravery. Bingo didn't choose this path, but he embraced it wholeheartedly, forging an unbreakable bond with his handler and fellow officers. Our fallen hero, though unable to speak in human words, communicated volumes through his actions. His dedication to the badge, his unwavering commitment to protect and serve, and his profound loyalty will forever resonate in our hearts. Bingo demonstrated the very best qualities of our law enforcement community: courage, integrity, and selflessness. We must also acknowledge the profound impact our fallen friend had on his handler, Sergeant Smith. The bond between a police dog and his handler is unique and extremely powerful. We offer our deep and sincere condolences to Sergeant Smith and his family, along with Bingo's entire family at Police Dog Services. We join Torontonians in grieving the tragic loss of Bingo, and we honor his incredible loyalty, his great dedication to duty, and his ultimate sacrifice in the name of public safety. I just also want to say that thank you very much to everyone from our board and for myself personally, as well as a social worker for the past 35 years in our communities throughout our city. Serving people and the public is not the easiest job out there, but please also remember that every single one of you is respected. No matter what you hear out there, it is not, I always say, not the majority voice. Thank you very much. Please take care of also yourselves and your families, and always go home safe to your families. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Kostakis, for your kind words. Our Chief of the Toronto Police Service, Chief Myron Denkew, has been steadfast in his resolve to acknowledge, memorialize, and celebrate the life of police dog Bingo in his addresses to our members, in his addresses to our Police Services Board, and in his addresses to the public. There has been no question as to his position of what is appropriate, what is required, and what our sense of duty is under the circumstances of this tragic loss in recognizing the life of Sergeant Smith's partner. To pay his own tribute, I would like to invite Chief Demke to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mayor Chow, welcome, Your Worship. Vice Chair of the Board, Ms. Kostakis, thank you for coming and joining us today. Chief Matt Pegg, Toronto Fire Service, thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. Deputy Chief Mike Wayanzek, Toronto Paramedic Service, thank you for attending today. Appreciate your presence. I'd like to also acknowledge our directors of the Police Association, Clayton Campbell, Pete Grande, and Ron Tate. Thank you for being here with us on such an important day. I'm incredibly grateful that so many members of the policing community could join us today. And in particular, I want to acknowledge the many dog handlers who are present with us today from across the province while we honor the life of Toronto Police Service dog Bingo. To Sergeant Brendan Smith and the entire Smith family, I'm so sorry for the devastating loss of a precious and much-loved member of your family, who was also a cherished and adored member of the Toronto Police Service family. I can't even imagine the incredible impact that this loss has on every member of your family. And I just want you to know that we are with you on this journey, and I'm so very sorry for your loss. My deepest and most sincere condolences. To the members of Police Dog Services and every officer who has ever been a police dog handler, thank you. Thank you for your incredible work that you do each and every day, and for the support you've provided the entire Smith family during this very difficult time. Being here to honor the life of Bingo is incredibly important, because Bingo was a beloved member of the Toronto Police Service. He was a police service dog who excelled at his job. He embodied and understood what it means to serve and protect. Bingo served. He served the residents of Toronto, and he did it with pride. He was always there when he was needed the most, whether it was to clear a house that had just been broken into, or search for a vulnerable person who had gone missing, or track a person in possession of an illegal firearm. Bingo was there. Bingo served our city. Bingo also courageously protected. He protected our members. When Bingo arrived on scene at a call, every officer knew. They knew that he would do everything possible to back them up. For these reasons and many more, Bingo will forever be remembered as a protector. Anyone who's had a permanent partner in policing knows that you learn things about them when you're in a car for 8, 10, or 12 hours a day with the same person. You learn things that no one else knows. You share a special connection with your partner and count on them for backup. Sergeant Smith didn't have an ordinary partner. He had an extraordinary partner in Bingo. They trained together, they worked together, they lived together. And they always had each other's back. They both did everything they could possibly do to keep each other safe. Bingo loved his job, and Bingo loved his partner. Before I close my remarks, I'd like to take a moment to thank Sergeant Smith and the entire Smith family for everything that they did for Bingo, and especially for loving him so much. Thank you for welcoming Bingo into your loving home with open arms. Thank you for caring for him when he was a puppy, and thank you for loving him as much as you did. You raised an extraordinary dog who was taken from you far too soon. And thanks to everyone here. Bingo will forever be remembered as the amazing police service dog he was, a dog that demonstrated that he too could serve and protect alongside some of the best police officers in the country, members of the Toronto Police Service. Bingo was a loyal partner to Sergeant Smith and a loving member of the Smith family. And although Bingo is no longer with us physically, his legacy will continue to live on in our hearts. Thank you all for honoring Bingo's life and for recognizing just how brave he was when he made the ultimate sacrifice.
Thank you for your comments, Chief Demkew. Earlier in the procession, you saw a number of members marching behind Sergeant Smith and his wife. And the appropriate time is now to acknowledge that these are the emergency task force members of Team 6 and the tactical paramedic that were there that night assisting Sergeant Smith. They sit here in a front row to my left. Thank you for your service that evening and for your service every day. As commander of the Toronto Police Service Specialized Emergency Response Pillar, which includes the Emergency Task Force and also includes Police Dog Services, Superintendent Greenaway has made the humble request to say a few words today. Superintendent, it is with a great deal of respect and admiration that I invite you to the podium now.
I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to celebrate the life of Bingo, who is Sergeant Brandon Smith's fearless partner, friend, and member of his family. I'd like to thank the honored guest today, Chief Demkew, Toronto Board Member Lisa Katakis, and Mayor Chow, and command officers from Toronto Paramedics and Toronto Fire. Members from all of the police services, including our own, I thank you all. It's a great testament to see all the PDS handlers across the province here today. It's a lot of respect. I thank you for that. Finally, to the Smith family, so sorry for your loss. I can't begin to imagine what your family has endured. When driving to the scene that night, I knew it would be chaotic and emotional. Nothing had prepared me in my 39 years of police service for what I witnessed that night. To see Bingo lying on the ground, motionless, Brandon standing beside him, refusing to leave his partner's side. Then all the other police officers on scene in such a state of grief was absolutely overwhelming. That night will remain ingrained in my memory for the rest of my life. By way of history, Sergeant Smith transferred to the Police Dog Services in June of 2022. And just a few weeks later, in came a 2-year-old beautiful German Shepherd, Brandon's partner, Bingo. They're both brand new to the unit. They trained together from July until December. Then they graduated training, were both deployed just before New Year's Eve. They went on as partners and attended numerous calls for service with tremendous success. When you think about this and the relationship between a person and their dog, you can't help but think of the old adage of a man's best friend. As a dog owner myself, we all know why we refer to them as such. When we go home, we're greeted each and every day with unconditional love from our dogs who have missed you. And they just want to be by our sides no matter what has happened in our days. Now leave home without your companion and go to work, as we all do. But could you imagine having a coworker or a partner who only wants to please you, is not interested in outperforming you, being smarter than you, or being more innovative than you? Can you imagine a partner who puts you first, loves you unconditionally, and may have to one day lay their lives down for you? That's Bingo. Now take a partner like Bingo and also make him your man's best friend. Since he's not only the best partner you've ever had, he's also your pet once you get home to both you and your family. Sergeant Smith lost both of his partner and his man's best friend to an unnecessary, cowardly act of violence, while Bingo was just trying to save his best friend's life. But not only did Bingo save Brandon Smith's life, but Bingo also saved the lives of other police officers that night and helped keep our citizens safe from an alleged murderer who was on the run from the police that night. This is truly a testament to the profound connection that can live between a canine and a human. It's completely unimaginable and overwhelming when you think about it like that. Let's not just remember Bingo as a crime-fighting companion. He was also a source of comfort and reassurance for Sergeant Smith, offered him solace after difficult calls and companionship each and every day. Bingo left us way too soon. It's heartbreaking that we're here today to celebrate his life, but it is a stark reminder of the dangers that both police officers and their canine companions expose themselves to each and every day. The last 12 months have been unprecedented regarding the execution of both 11 police officers Canada-wide and our canine partners. So I ask you all, the next time you see a police officer or a police service dog, take a moment and say thank you. Thank you for their sacrifices and the risks they put themselves at in order to keep you all safe. They're the only ones running into danger while everybody else is running away. Our true heroes. I'd like to thank all whom helped out on that terrible night. There is truly an unbreakable bond between police officers when an act of violence as such takes place. From that night forward and weeks after, many of you have called in and checked on the well-being of those involved in the tragic event, including Sergeant Smith. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. To those who were in attendance, either at the scene or later that evening, I'd also like to personally thank you. And that includes all the uniform officers that were there from PSRT, 22 Division, 23 Division, all the canine officers who left their home that night and rushed in to help out, the dispatchers, all the investigators, the Toronto Police Association, and the Chief himself. Finally, I'd like to thank and recognize Team 6 at ETF, who responded to this catastrophic event with immediate action, precision, professionalism, and purpose. I know that Brandon is truly thankful to all the men and women who engaged themselves that night. In closing, let us honor Bingo for making the ultimate sacrifice while embodying the principles of bravery, loyalty, and selflessness. Rest in peace, Bingo. You'll forever be remembered as our hero and holding true to the Toronto Police philosophy of serve and protect. You were truly man's best friend, Brendan.
Thank you, Superintendent Greenaway. The poem Guardians of the Night, whose author is unknown, has been read and recited at memorials for police and military dogs for decades across the world. The monologue is from the perspective of a police dog speaking to its handler and speaks to the bond that they share as something that only others like them will ever understand. As an active police dog handler with the Toronto Police Dog Services, Sergeant Sean Thrush would also understand this bond. And I would ask that he please come forward to the podium to share this poem with us today.
Trust in me, my friend, for I am your comrade. I will protect you with my last breath. When all others have left you and the loneliness of the night closes in, I will be at your side. Together, we will conquer all obstacles and search out those who might wish harm to others. All I ask of you is compassion, the caring touch of your hands. It is for you that I will unselfishly give my life and spend my nights unrested. Although our days together may be marked by the passing of the seasons, know that each day at your side is my reward. My days are measured by the coming and going of your footsteps. I anticipate them at every opening of the door. You are the voice of caring when I am ill, the voice of authority when I have done wrong. Do not chastise me unduly, for I am your right arm, the sword at your side. I attempt to do only what you bid of me. I seek only to please you and remain in your favor. Together, you and I will experience a bond only others like us will understand. When outsiders see us together, their envy will be measured by their disdain. I will quietly listen to you and pass no judgment, nor will your spoken words ever be repeated. I will remain ever silent, ever vigilant, ever loyal. And when our time together is done, and you move on in the world, remember me with kind thoughts and tales. For a time, we were unbeatable. Nothing passed amongst us undetected. If we should meet again on another street, I will gladly take up your fight. I am a police working dog, and together we are guardians of the night.
Thank you, Sergeant Thrush. I would ask that if you are able to please rise as I invite and welcome Sergeant Brandon Smith to the podium to remember his partner, Police Dog Bingo. Please be seated.
Thank you for everyone attending today and showing your support for Bingo. As I look into the crowd, the outpouring of support is extremely heartwarming. Know that my family and I thank you. I want to thank those who have sent messages, gifts, and well wishes. Please know that we have received everything. I'm not able to respond to each and every one, but please know that my family and I are extremely appreciative. Thank you to ETF Team 6. You guys had my back that night, and in part, you're the reason why I'm here. To my colleagues at Police Dog Services, who stayed with Bingo by his side when I had to leave the scene, and for all the initial and ongoing support for myself and my family. I would also like to say thank you to my family for always being there for me, for encouraging me, and being there for me. I would especially like to say thank you to my wife, Heather, for being there for me, and I'm not sure I could have made it through this without you. I've been a police officer in the City of Toronto for 24 years, and it took me 23 years to find my purpose in policing. I arrived at PDS mid-2022, only having a superficial understanding of how the K-9 unit operates, and I was green. I had no idea how to handle a service dog. I have had pets all my life and never thought I could have a stronger connection than a beloved pet. But after spending every day with Bingo, both at work and at home, more often spending more time with him than with Heather and my children, we developed a bond that is deeper than that of a pet. As a K-9 officer, our dogs become our partners. We are a team. We look after each other. What we do cannot be done by one of us alone. To be successful, a K-9 handler needs their dog, and their dog needs their handler. Even after going through 16 weeks of extensive training with Bingo and seeing the remarkable transformation in him, I still had my doubts. When we first went operational, I often wondered if I could really do this job when it counted on our own. It didn't take long for Bingo to put those doubts to rest. Bingo didn't have doubts. I did. He knew he could do it. Bingo's first find was on a call for a carjacking where the suspects had fled from a vehicle after getting into a pursuit that ended in 31 Division. We arrived on scene and started to track one of the suspects into an industrial area. During the track, Bingo proved he didn't have any doubts, and he did something that he had never done before. He stopped mid-track and put his nose under a discarded pallet, and then turned and looked at me. When I said, "What is it?" he again put his nose under the pallet and looked up at me to tell me that there was something there. I indicated to the officers I was with that there was something of interest under the pallet, and we continued on with the track. After finishing the track and not locating the suspect, I returned to the spot where Bingo had previously indicated. I learned from the officers there that they had located clothing that the suspect had hidden, as well as a small bag that contained a loaded firearm. On our final track, on July 25th, we were called to an area in 23 Division to locate an individual who had run from officers and who was wanted for a homicide the night before. It was a call like dozens of others we had had. Unfortunately, this call turned into the one that everyone dreads. The individual we were tracking was hiding in a dark corner of the backyard we were searching, lying in wait, gun in hand, ready to ambush. Fortunately for myself and the two ETF officers who were with me, Bingo was the first to locate the suspect that we were not able to see. Bingo didn't even get the chance to bark before he was shot. Bingo, without a doubt, saved our lives. Bingo took the bullet, and if it were not for him, it would have been one of us. I truly believe that if it were not for Bingo, I would not be standing here today with my family in front of you all. I will never be able to say thank you to Bingo, and that is the thing that I struggle with most of all. I miss you, partner. You will forever be my hero.
Thank you, Sergeant Smith, for your comments, and thank you for your service. If I could please direct your attention to the video monitor for a short tribute. Thank you, Sergeant Smith, for your comments, and thank you for your service. If I could please direct your attention to the video monitor.
Cold water surrounds me now, and all I've got is your hand. Lord, can you hear me now? Lord, can you hear me now? Lord, can you hear me now? Or am I lost? Once daughter, allow me that. And I can't let go of your hand. Lord, can you hear me now? Lord, can you hear me now? Lord, can you hear me now? Or am I
I would ask that if you are able to please rise for the Piper's Lament, performed with honor by Piper Hector MacDonald. The lament will be followed by a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, members of the Chief's ceremonial unit will assist Chief Demke as he presents Police Dog Bingo's badge, leash, and Canadian flag to Sergeant Smith and his family. I would ask that if you're able to please rise as we honor our nation with the singing of O Canada performed by station duty operator Steve Cooper. Chief Demke will make the salute to our nation and flag, with all others honoring our country by standing at attention. Officer Cooper.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you. Officer Cooper, please be seated. This concludes our ceremony of life and remembrance. On behalf of Vice Chair Kostakis and Chief Demke, I would like to thank all of you for being part of the service. To Sergeant Smith and his family, thank you for allowing us to share this day with you. You will always have our support, our thoughts, and our hearts. If you are able, one last time I would ask that you please rise as members of the Chief's ceremonial unit escort Sergeant Smith and his family from the venue. Please rise. Thank you all for being part of today's service. Please feel free to welcomed to join us at a reception in the west end of the hall. Be well, be kind to one another, and enjoy a safe journey home. Thank you.